Hello, my name is TeigeAzuk. I am a design thinker and creative strategist with a keen eye for detail and an enthusiasm for innovation. I am such a pragmatic creative that I balance a modern and functional design aesthetic with an empathetic approach. Each concept is intentionally designed to stimulate a multisensory engagement. So recently we posted about our interior design services under the styling spaces theme, and we featured Ultra Lounge in Rodney Bay, Saint Lucia that we had designed. And I really thought I should take a moment and really just walk you through what the process was like for us. So stick with me as I take you through as quickly as I can, because it really was an intense process, but as quickly as I can, let me just take you through our process. So one of the first things that we did is identify our objectives. One of it being roadside marketing. We had to ask ourselves, how can we entice walking and driving passersby during the day and the night to return or to enter the venue? How quickly and easily could we provide them information about the venue's experience, what they can look forward to, and really how can we influence them to come into the club a little bit later? Yeah. Then we had to go into the experiential marketing. So a lot of the time with nightclubs and entertainment spaces, they partner and collaborate with brands like liquor brands and whatnot. And we wanted to make sure that we created a space that was comfortable, not just for the venue, but it was also comfortable for the collaborations and the business that was being done so that the brands themselves could get the most out of this space to feature their products and services, have the most impact, and overall influence sales. Then there was the flexibility of the space. We wanted to make sure, and we kept asking ourselves, how can we style every single element in the space in a way that can accommodate the logistics of various types of events? So whether it be a festival, a daytime event, nighttime event, corporate event, special cocktail party, a little wedding, we wanted to make sure that the various elements in the space can adapt to suit. And a little later on, you'll see how we creatively did that. We looked at the virtual experience as well. I mean, everything is online these days. We acknowledge social media, but we also proposed having a digital experience that got the viewers from their living room into the club. There was a lifestyle experience where we asked ourselves, how can we seamlessly style the space in a way that suits the lifestyle of our target attendees? So is it mirrors? Is it charging stations? How is it that we can fit into what they are comfortably doing? The target market is comfortably experiencing the nightlife like this. How do we style a space to create the most comfort and flexibility for them? And then the entertainment experience. Beyond just coming out and dancing and lounging, we wanted to make sure that if we wanted to host a themed special event or some sort of specially curated experience, entertainment experience, that the space would have the versatility to accommodate that. So these are the objectives that we considered when designing Ultra Lounge in Rodney Bay, St. Lucia by TeigeAzuk. So let's get into some of our principles of interior design that we applied. Creating the mood. So we wanted to make sure to have something that was chic, modern, eclectic, but not too much in your face, not too premium. So it had a neutral palette that complemented it. Making it all come alive with lighting really allowed the transition from day into night. Then there was a rhythm of the space. So Ultra Lounge has natural, really tall ceilings, and we wanted to curate that flow, that visual flow from floor to ceiling and elongate it, highlight it. So we added in some draping and some lighting that ran up the walls just to make sure that it cut that edginess of the space and kept that continuous flow. Then there was an emphasis. So usually there's one focal point in a room, but with this design, we wanted to make sure to identify a focal point in every turn you took. There was texture and there was pattern almost at every turn you took. If you were on the left, and because the space is so edgy, there were so many nooks and corners that we had to create quite a few focal points. So when you watch to the left, Boom, there was a focal point. Watch to the right, there was another focal point. Go in that nook, there was another one over there. So that was the emphasis that we created, and it gave us a chance to include a lot of pattern and texture, especially including elements like mirrors and lighting in the space. There was a balance, so hiding some asymmetrical features and really playing with, the heights and of things. That was really something that was fun to explore, and then the scale. So there was a lot of chunky furniture at Ultra Lounge, and that really was to accommodate the function of the space. The bar had to be big enough to accommodate everything, having design the flexibility of the furniture. Some of the items needed to be chunky, which is not bad. It just meant that the space was very grounded. So instead of adding too many elements above, we wanted to make sure that there was a little bit of a float, a little bit of a lightheadedness that happened above, so you didn't feel squished into the space. So all the features that we did above was very minimal, classic, and not too much at all. Okay, and then the color. So monochromatic color scheme, primarily with silvers, chromes, and that wooden dark brown feel. And then secondary with that teal color, which I thought was a signature color to Ultra Lounge. And then white or off-white being a tertiary and complementary color to allow you that transition between the two. Well, between the three. Then there was pattern and texture. So we got a chance in our proposal to play with geometric shapes, chrome, glass, mirror, brick and tile on the outdoor, which naturally was in place. And it was interesting to implement such a modern aesthetic on the inside and still carry that through on the outside, but sort of dumbing it down with that more casual brick and tile approach. Now, how we mastered that is with our finishings. So having a wooden correlation between the outside and the inside, a glossy finish on our paint and wall textures, and adding sparkle wallpaper in interesting spaces that were common in the outside and the inside really allowed us to tie the two spaces together, but giving indoor its unique feel. So you knew it was a lounge, you knew it was VIP, you knew it was a little more premium, and then outside being a little more casual, but not too downgraded or downscaled. So you knew you still had to dress up a little bit, but you could take the edge off. Okay, so let's just quickly go through some of our mood boards. This is our entrance mood board, where we went through that teal color, adding that branding with the signature U, some chrome stanchions and black ropes, adding a concierge platform near the entrance, and that digital signage that we implemented at Ultra Lounge really helped us with that roadside marketing. So quick thing, there's a speed bump right near the corner of Ultra Lounge. And I recognized when I was designing, I recognized that, everybody has to slow down when they get to that speed bump. So then we proposed to the client, how about we add the calendar of events and even the menu right there, so that as persons slowed down, they had content and information to read, even when the club was closed, that enticed them to want to come back another time. They could literally see, oh, I should come out on Wednesday night with my girls. We looked at the signage, having lit signage, so the place really stood out. In the reception area, as you entered the club, we took advantage of the wall space to add in that chrome textured wallpaper, textures onto the doors, lighting, signage, and really kept everything classic. The bubble wall feature was a really interesting element that gave you that, modern digital feel, but something fun and funky that you could vibe with. When you got into the club now, there was a seating lounge areas, and this is where we got to take advantage of the height of the space. So we did retractable curtain separators that allowed you to create booths, almost like when you went to go to an international VIP lounge. So you could have separators or booths, or they could be retracted into the wall and a cool open space. So you could accommodate a full group or just no separators, or have separated booths with some elongated draping. Then there was the overhead lighting features that we took advantage of doing an asymmetrical hanging feature, having lights generally to complement as above, down below. So lights to complement the raised platforms. And then the seating itself. What I loved about the seating is that we designed it to be retractable. The current seating lounge stations inside the club can easily fold and go into the wall, so there'd be a padded wall station, which really allowed you to have a cocktail party if you needed to with no seating or not. Adding that U shape into the custom furniture really allowed for you to implement the branding. And although some of these features were maybe not kept, it was really cool to propose something that included branding elements as well and not just design and style. Okay, so our indoor bar, which is, the best part of a space, we added that continuous chrome feel that was in the entrance before, a geometric feel, and the lights in there, making sure that it was styled nicely as well as functional. A key thing that we did, although they didn't keep it as a mirrored pillar, we also wanted to include some grooves into our pillar structures that had some lighting running in there. So it sort of went with what was in the backdrop of the bar, what was running on the bottom of the platforms of the lounges, as well as in the pillars as well. And it was just such an interesting feature to use LED lighting. Of course, we use mirror and glass for shelving, which complemented the wood that we use on the bar tops. Okay, so the DJ booth. That's where we get a simple upholstered DJ booth and use of digital technology with screens and projections. The corner lounge for the DJ. So sometimes when you have an artist come over and you kind of want to treat them a little more premium than your regular VIP guests, we created a space right next to the DJ area, which allowed the artist and his or her posse to be able to have their own little nook with their own booth in a sense, where they got to be right next to the stage platform, but they can lounge and feel comfortable and have their bottle service. Then it's the VVIP lounge. This is an interesting nook right next to the bar, really adjacent to the bar. And I had fun in that space, painting it up in a teal color, complementing it with a neutral, adding in a TV, doing some foldable seating, draping it off. So a really cool nook where you can have a special celebration or party. This space was specifically designed to accommodate special bookings in a way that you didn't have to shut the club down. You didn't have to stop operations. You can still feel like it was a mini club inside the club, and we can take advantage of additional sales with hosting groups in that section. That section could be easily decorated, designed very differently to the rest of the club and not get in the way of anybody, and have its own special service from the side of the bar which faced it. Then there were the toilets, and although this part was not kept in a lot of the final designs, but it really highlights how we implemented the lifestyle elements in there with having the station over the toilet paper roll. So sometimes as a woman, if you went to the bathroom with your handbag, there's never really a space to place it while you do your business. So having a station above the toilet or hook on the door in some cases, but it really gave you an option of placing your elements here. Keeping it chrome and sleek and simple, and getting creative with some of the signage as well. Right? Then the kitchen, very functional, steel, chrome, consistent with the general style, our storage area as well. And then we get to the outside. So we had a lot of fun with the seating on the outside. We wanted to make sure to have seating styles that accommodated everybody, from swings to high tops to lounge furniture, seated furniture, cocktail furniture, bench side furniture. We really wanted to cater for as many persons as we could. So having these various styles of seating was fun to do. A lot of it had a consistent feel, and then we got to play with the upholstery, adding in patterns, checkered patterns, geometric patterns, interesting colors like black and white and yellow, and really designing the space where it felt local, but in an international style. The general aesthetic of the outside bar, having raised platforms where we kept the lighting underneath, taking advantage of photography stations, adding in a TV so it felt like a sports bar, keeping the rafters exposed so it didn't feel too chunky. You still felt like, it was nicely styled, and then adding the retractable weathering shades that helped in case there was a bad weather. We accommodated for that in the design, where we could simply pull down these rafters off to the side so it didn't stop the party, even though it was outside. It felt like an indoor-outdoor space. All right, then we got into the outside DJ station, kept it very simple and clean with an upholstered booth. And then behind that booth, we did a textured backdrop. And although we went for way better paneling behind that, but it still added a texture to what would have been a regular wall, which added for really great photos. And you'll see that later on. The outside bar, there was a balance between being a very beautiful bar, curved lines, had lighting implemented, and being very functional as well, with proper disposable units, storage spaces, and really making sure there was enough footprint for the bar staff to function. Now, the sidebar, which I like to call it the champagne bar by design, this really was a business strategy. So we were placed with we faced a pole. That was one of our biggest challenges, is that there was a pole that couldn't come down because it was a main electrical pole, and we were challenged to design around it. And instead of just doing something aesthetic, I really wanted to take the approach of doing something that had function in there and would drive sales. So we suggested to the client, how about we have this as a structure that can be privately booked by brands. Brands can activate there so they didn't have to interrupt any of your regular proceedings in your main bar, but it can be booked off. So it can be for a cocktail party, it can be for private group booking, whatever the case may be, and it would have its own private bar service, photography station, TV, and the option of overhead sales if they needed shading for a daytime function. I loved the photography element that was on the champagne bar side, as well as there was a secondary one for the regular bar service. But this is really innovative because it's retractable frames. You open them up and it's simply a printed 8.5 by 11 poster, and you can just implement it. What I loved about it is that you had the option of exclusively branding the entire wall, or if it was a partial deal, the brand, the Ultra Lounge venue itself can still keep their logo implemented in there, and there was still space to add something themed. So whether it be sparkle or particular polka dot pattern or flamingos or whatever the theme is, you can really get creative with the wall in a very easy, cheap way, but still look really, really good, and anybody could do it. And now let me just show you, what it's like. So this image here shows the roadside marketing with a concierge platform. The front of Ultra Lounge being painted in black instead of the gray, which made the logo pop out more. At that time, we didn't have a name for the outside bar. It's now called the Sky Lounge, and this really shows of how the speed bump, which is right here, the speed bump allowed you to pause and see what was happening on an informational digital advertising station placed on the outside here. Yeah, we also had to add some more greenery and florals to the front here, and frosted doors in the front. Yeah, when you got into the lounge itself, that chrome wallpaper to add that sparkle and chrome in there. This station here was really proud of it being a bottle service concierge, so you can have the option to create your experience upon entry. So if it is that you wanted to leave your credit card or book a bottle because you knew what the night was that you wanted to and you didn't want to pay cash on the floor and you wanted to book a booth, you had the option of doing that right here. Love the textured door option before you enter the club, and of course signage with having the exit and the welcome, as well as a cool bubble mirrored feature in there as well. Then you got into the club, that elongated draping, the booth style, the bar, the geometric shapes, the lighting, everything had a very beautiful flow. And again, the seats are retractable into the wall, the curtains can push back, the furniture can be easily moved, so you had the option of adapting the space as needed. It's another view of the inside, making sure the bar was nice and functional, proper display of drinks, having that textured door, raised platform for the DJ, and your booths, and the general cool, industrial, warm aesthetic. Yeah, having that DJ station on the indoor and that corner nook for the DJ corner, as well as the special party nook, for that special party group bookings that you want to do. You can have your birthday party in there, anniversary, or any little celebration that made you feel like you had a mini club inside the club and being serviced from this side of the bar. Yep, as another perspective, the kitchen and the outdoor. This really showed off the champagne bar, having that bar service station, display of drinks. The photography station was on the other side of that, which covered the pool as much as it can. Well, it could have. Then this is a really cool station. This was actually a fountain for what it was used before, and then we created a little pod with it. This served as seating as well as a dance pod as needed. And the seating on top of here gave us the opportunity to add in some color with black and white geometric shapes and pops of yellow, and really got us to get creative in there. And the dance pod in the center was a acrylic station with lights underneath, so it really made you feel like you were at a party. All right, the interesting swing seating implemented over here. Just having, a really good perspective of, chairs at the bar, having that retractable draping off to the side, that photography station in the back, and this is on lounge now. So this is, when they started implementing, they did a textured wall in the front instead, having that roadside marketing boards here, well lit, well branded, that photography station that we spoke about earlier being fun and funky and being able to include the brand as well as any other inclusions in the blues and the chromes in there as needed. That bottle service concierge when you got inside. This one was the outdoor where we had that dance party pod. This is the inside bar. You look at that U in the back. Well crafted, well designed to have a U as a bar shelf structure. That patterning, wall patterning behind that DJ booth. So every picture that the DJ took had a pattern and a texture to it. And then that overall chrome sparkly effect that made you feel like, yeah, I'm out for a good night. So this is our interior design services as we launch our styling spaces. And with this, we offer design consultations. So we get a chance to visit your location, walk through and give you all the ideas, discuss all your options, and really help you envision how that space could look, explore the potential of it, and give you as much advice and tips that we've gathered both innately and through our practical experience over the years. So that was our design. That is our design consultation. Then our design planning, where we get into what you just saw, which is a lot of the 3D renderings, which we can simplify to do 2D floor plans, or get even more creative by doing a 360 tour, or any sort of 3D virtual experience with it. As well as with our design planning, you get a full design aesthetic, mood boards, and a listing of what each area would look like and what we would recommend to be included in each area, which is similar to what we did for Ultra Lounge. Then there's the coordination. If you do decide to take on our design, we're happy to help you coordinate the production with sourcing the materials and the supplies, getting together the swatches, looking at all the options, doing some demos where needed, whether that be paint sampling or upholstery sampling, and really helping you put together your budget. And then there's the production element of it, where we can help coordinate your resources, your contractors, your suppliers, and really stick with you to creatively direct as you pull the entire space together. So if you are interested in styling your intimate spaces or your commercial or residential spaces, please keep us at top of mind at TeigeAzuk, and you can contact us on email at TeigeAzuk@gmail.com. It's TeigeAzuk@gmail.com, or call us at 758-461-2531. I really hope you got a good understanding of what it is that we do. Usually it's hard to explain design, but I really hope that you understood it and you can appreciate it. And the next time you are at Ultra Lounge, just think about the immense detail and planning and innovation that went into creating the experience of your lifetime. We look forward to continue sharing as many of our concepts with you and really get you involved and indulge in our creative process, not just the end result, but really understand that there's a value to what we do because we really take our time to do it. All right, thank you for your time, and hopefully you'll contact us.